So here we're asked to find the sum, and again, you have two fractions. You look in between those two fractions at that addition sign, and when you have an addition sign, you say to yourself, I need to get a common denominator. Now, unfortunately, we do not have a common denominator here. So what we do is we look at each of the denominators. So the first denominator is 5 times w. The second denominator is 3 times w. So our LCD is going to be the unique factors raised to the greatest power. So if you look at both denominators, 5 is a factor, w is a factor, and 3 is a factor. And you'll notice that all of the w's, they're raised to the first power, so we don't need to have a w squared or anything like that, okay? So our LCD is going to be 5 times w times 3. Now, you can write this as 15 times w, but it's not too instructive to do that. Because here's the thing, we want to look up here and say, okay, if I want to get this in each of my denominators, for the first fraction, I have the 5, I have the w, I need a 3. So for the first fraction, I'll multiply in by 3 over 3. Now, for the second fraction, I start with the 5 and I say, okay, do I have the 5 in the denominator? And I don't. So I'm going to multiply the second fraction by 5 over 5. Now I want to make sure I have the other two factors. So I have the 5 now, I have the w, and I have the 3. All right, so what we have here is for these two factors, and what I'm going to do is, well, let's just keep it with this. So for this first term here, you're going to have 3, again, you're multiplying straight across, 3 times 1, so that's just going to give you 3 over, multiplying straight across here, 15w. That is then added over here. For our second term, we're going to multiply straight across. So we'll have 10 times 5, that gives us 50, and then over 15w. All right, now at this point, what you want to do is you want to say, okay, do I have a common denominator? So now that I have that common or same denominator, I can write and add the numerators and write that over the common denominator. So I will write the common denominator just one time, the 15w, and then I'll add the 3 plus 50 in the numerator. So 3 plus 50 is just 53, and then over 15w. Now, before you say that's your final answer, you do have to simplify it. And when you think about simplifying, you want to think about factoring and canceling out factors. So if you look at 53 here, and again, you might not know this. So like you take your little calculator with your batteries that are low, and you take 53 divided by 3, that doesn't go in evenly. Now 15 also has a factor of 5 in it because it's 3 times 5. So it's not like you're trying to find out every single factor out there. You're trying to see if it's divisible by 3, the 53 that is, and then you're going to try to see if the 53 is divisible by 5, and it's not. So that tells you that this factor cancel step is done, and there's nothing to do further but to type in 53 over 15w.